All right, what's going on? Did Florida State Seminoles get robbed of the 2023 college football playoffs? Now, me being an FSU fan, I'm only going to speak on me, not all Florida State fans. But I'm going to put some information out there that might help everyone kind of compartmentalize what just happened recently. Now, I made a video last night. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. And I also made a video a year ago talking about how this stuff was going to happen. And I'm going to get more in detail into it. Now, when I made my video and said why Florida State and Miami fans should root for each other, Miami Hurricanes, everybody had something to say about it. They thought I was crazy. But now that this has happened, everything that I said a year ago, now these people are coming back saying, dang, man, you were saying this the whole time. And here's the reality, guys. I'm going to give you a couple things, okay? Without Jordan Travis, Florida State is perceived as not championship worthy. Whether you want to admit it or not, we don't look good to the committee without Jordan Travis. We saw in the Florida State-Louisville game, we put up 16 points, and our defense had to play a hell of a game to give us an opportunity to win. Our offense barely did enough to give us a lead and win, but the reality is we didn't look the same without Jordan Travis, and we haven't. You know, no disrespect to our backup quarterbacks, but they're going to be perceived as not, as formidable with them leading the helm versus Jordan Travis. That's the reality. The difference with Florida State and the four teams that made the playoffs, all of them have their starting quarterbacks. We don't. So even though from a principle standpoint, an undefeated team should be in the playoffs, because college football postseason is the worst postseason in sports. And I'm not saying this because FSU didn't make it. I'm saying this because it's reality. Whether Florida State made it or not, I've been saying this, right? Show me another sport where an undefeated team doesn't make the playoffs. Only college football Division I. Only college football Division I has that. So let's take this back historically. For those of you that didn't watch my Florida State, why FSU and Miami should root for each other video, I'm going to just bring you up to speed real quick, and I'm going to tag it in this link below if you want to go back and watch it. In a nutshell, Florida State decided to stay in the ACC when contracts and business and sports networks started coming in and putting money. At one time, we were independent, and we joined the basketball conference in the early 90s. Big mistake. When you start sharing and splitting revenue with other schools, and football is your bread and butter, and you know that historically you've never really been a basketball powerhouse, and you're going to a basketball conference, horrible move. But you had time to make up for that. Once you had an opportunity to get out, you extended with the prior committee that we had at Florida State, and then Maryland was the one school that got out of the ACC, and they benefited monetarily more than we did. So that's the thing. With that kind of power and impact you have in football, why would you stay in a basketball conference? So you extended it, and now you're falling behind because you're viewed in a conference that is not respectable. So the difference with Florida State and Clemson making the playoffs is Clemson had their two quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. If you took them out of the equation, they wouldn't have made it. Remember when Penn State had an opportunity in 2016 to go to the playoffs, and they also got snubbed despite them losing their bowl game, I think? They won their conference, and they beat Ohio State head-to-head, and Ohio State still went. So even this year, UGA loses one game. If conference championships matter, then why did Penn State get snubbed in 2016, but Georgia loses, and now they're out of the playoffs? It'll never be right with four teams. So the bottom line is college football postseason is the worst, and I was prepared for this to happen because the reality is, Florida State fans, as long as we're in the ACC, if we're not dominating it on a regular, if we're not consistently winning it on a regular, and we don't have what the committee perceives as a powerhouse team due to a quarterback that's led us this whole season, most of the season, and then gets hurt, we're going to be in a situation more so than not. Alabama starting quarterback could have got hurt and probably still made it because they have that prestige about them right now. Florida State has to get that back. Did we get snubbed? I'll see what you guys say in the comments. Over and out. Go Noles.